Hello again, guys, and welcome back to the Midnight Oil Racing League's GT7 Championship. This is round 10 of Season 2. This is the final round now. We are at Spa-Francorchamps for this round, and the conditions we have for this first race are absolutely treacherous. These were the conditions for qualifying as well, and the results after qualifying puts Wayne G on pole with Thomas in second place, Mawson in third, Ice Chan in fourth, Dan Bailey starts in fifth, Blood Diamond in sixth, Clutch in seventh, Asbo in eighth, Pickle in ninth, and Vexed down in 10th place. Before we get into this first race, we will have a quick rundown through the standings coming into this round. So coming into this round, Thomas still at the top of the table, 399 points. Too Fast in second place with 386. We've got Ice Chan in third with 375. Dan Bailey in fourth with 278. Mawson not far behind him with 267. Blood Diamond in sixth with 229. Only 1 point separating him and Vexed on 228. Ions Clutch, we've got in 8th place with 178 points. He's just overtaken Silent Hunter, who's now in 9th with 165. We've got Asbo in 10th with 164, so only 1 point separating them two drivers as well. Dirty Dubs down in 11th place with 26 points, and Jerry Smiles only picking up 6 points in this season. So, without further ado, let's get into this first race. Hopefully it will be a good one. And hopefully we'll actually be able to see what's going on track, because it's, as you can see, very dark and very wet. Or very moist. Mawson loves the word moist. So there we go, this is the start of the race now. The klaxon has sounded. Wayne G still keeps the lead, although Thomas almost managed to get past him just before the approach there on the hill up Eau Rouge. Oh, and he was off into the barrier. That was Chand Akonda. What happened to Chand? Oh, Chand just losing it a little bit on the exit there at the top of the hill. He's going to have to make his way back into the race. We're off 3 wide here. Almost 3 wide. Lopez getting squeezed a little bit. He's still trying to find his way through, having a look up the inside. Not able to do so, though, as he actually takes a bit of contact there from Asbo. Asbo letting him back through. Clutch almost getting a move done. In fact, no, he does get a move done. Up into 6th place for Clutch. Vex now down to 7th. We have Asbo in 8th. Pickle is in 9th. And Chand all the way down in 10th now. So Wenny G still in 1st place. Thomas is there in 2nd. Big twitch there from Thomas. Manages to keep it going. Mawson is still there in 3rd. And that Ford GT does look awesome in the dark. We have Blood Diamond there in 4th place. So I think he's made up a position. Dan Bailey 5th. Vex and Clutch still having a battle there. 6th and 7th. Is Vex going to be able to get past Clutch? Not through No Name, which I believe is now Puon. That No Name was further up, wasn't it? But it does now have a name. And Clutch going very deep there. That has allowed Vex to come back alongside, has it? No, not quite. Almost. Vex right on the bumper now off the Ferrari. Asbo still not far behind as well. And there we go. Vex does finally get the move up into 6th place there. What has Clutch? Is Clutch got an answer for that move? And you can see the conditions not very nice out there at all. Very, very tricky race conditions. So Pickle has managed to get the move done on Asbo in the background there, as has Chad. I think Asbo must have had a moment. So Wayne G still in the lead of the race, and he's actually started to gap Thomas. Well, it looked like he'd started to gap Thomas. I think he managed to break the toe momentarily, but they're all straight back on him again through the braking zone. Is anyone going to be brave enough to go for a move in these conditions? We've seen a couple of moves. In fact, is that move being made in the background there? That was Pickle and Clutch. So Pickle going up the inside now of Clutch. Up into 7th place. Clutch now down to 8th. Chan not far behind in 9th, or a few seconds back at the moment, and Asbo a few seconds again. Oh, Mawson picks up half a second's penalty in the background there, as does Blood Diamond. Dan Bailey at second. What did Dan Bailey get the second for? I think all just drifting wide over the exit curb there at the top of Eau Rouge. Oh, Dan Bailey with a bit of a moment. I think he found a little bit of standing water there. That has allowed Vex to come alongside. And here's a tiny bit of door up in there, but Vex manages to get the move done up into 5th place now. So Blood Diamond ahead, still has that half a second penalty. Is he going to be able to stay ahead of Vex? Vex not really. Ooh, that's a massive moment in the background there. Keeps the car going though. He's not got to worry about Dan Bailey at the moment. Dan Bailey with that second's worth of penalty to serve. That is really going to kill his momentum. Oh, massive moment there from Blood Diamond. He's off into the barrier. It spins it around again. Can he keep it going? And he does. Oh, that is unlucky, Jason. Great save though at the end, but yeah, that's just super unlucky. Down into 7th place now, just the insult to injury with a half a second's penalty. So Pickle manages to get the move up into 6th. And you can see the penalty bar filling them up on the Ferrari of Blood Diamond now. As he goes for a move up the inside there of Pickle, actually gets it done. In fact, they're still side by side. No, he has got it done. He has moved through, but he will slow down now to serve that penalty. Pickle retakes the position. Dan Bailey, that really slowed Dan Bailey down. He might be in danger now of losing the position to Pickle. As Mawson now well onto the back, or Vex, sorry, well onto the back of Mawson. Mawson still using the toe of Thomas ahead. And that Ford GT, no slouch along the straights. Did Pickle manage to get a move done on Dan Bailey? So Dan Bailey still running there in 5th place. Blood Diamond has a look around the outside into the source. He's going to get it sewn up, and he does. But is Pickle going to get the better exit here? No, he has to slot in behind for the minute. So Blood Diamond trying to make his way back up through the field. He was running in 4th place. And Mawson actually looking like he might have lost a slip now to Thomas ahead. Is that going to put him in danger of the McLaren behind? At the moment, looks like he's not under too much pressure. And that Ford GT is a very wide car to try and get past. Can Thomas reel too fast? Wayne G, can he reel him back in? Wayne G has managed to create a gap now. That gap is quite substantial. He's definitely got a few seconds over the rest of the field now. Looking like he's very confident in these conditions. Which aren't very nice to race in at all. So Thomas still there in 2nd place. We've got Mawson still in 3rd, and Vex still there in 4th. Dan Bailey starting to close once again in 5th place. Pickle in 6th. Ice Chan now in 7th. Ice Chan had that early spin. Definitely gaining on the GR Supra, driven by Pickle ahead. Absolutely tiptoeing through the bus stop. We've got Clutch now in 8th place. Asbo is in 9th. Did Clutch just take... Oh no, Ice Chan took the fastest lap. 2:38.4. And Blood Diamond finds himself down in 10th place. Well, at the moment, it looks like Vex that may overtake Blood in the standings. We'll have to wait and see for the second race. But if Blood doesn't manage to make up any positions, and Vex manages to hold on to that 4th place, he's being chased down by Dan Bailey now. Dan Bailey looks at the inside, was thinking about a cheeky move at the inside there, not quite close enough to get it done. Can he do it through the next couple of turns? We're going to have a look here up the inside. No, not quite enough room to get it done. Vex covers off the inside nicely. Doing just enough to stay ahead at the moment. Oh, Dan almost sees an opportunity once again. Spider finding gap on the inside, wasn't quite able to get it done. But look at the momentum he has here, still unable to find a way through. Vex making that McLaren as wide as he possibly can. How far behind is Ice Chance? Ice Chance managed to get past Pickle now. Oh, big moment there from Dan Bailey, keeps it going though. So Chand, after the early spin, how many places can he salvage? He managed to take the fastest lap on lap 2, 2:38.4. And in fact, he's been doing consistent 2:38. The top 5 fairly spread out now. Wenji still leads the race by some margin. Thomas emerges from the bus stop, the final chicane. And his last lap was a 2:38.9. Morse managed to start reeling it back in once again. I don't think he has closed that gap too much, but keeping the gap consistent back to Vex as well. It's definitely a couple of seconds now. Try as he might, Vex just doesn't seem to be able to close that gap at the moment. He's managed to create a bit of breathing space back to Dan Bailey though. The pressure off for a lap or two, or for a couple of corners. As I say that, it looks like Dan Bailey straight back onto the bumper of the McLaren once again. I went almost into the back. Went a little bit deep through that last turn. And Ice Chand starting to creep up onto the back of him as well. Pickle not too far behind Chand. And he's done really well to make it up 4 positions so far. It's a great recovery race from Chand. Can he catch Dan Bailey? Oh no, as he just drives a little bit deep, he's off track. Is he going to get a penalty for that? I think he actually managed to get away with it, so he did lose a little bit of time there. But fortunately, didn't pick up a penalty, so he won't lose any more time you can concentrate on trying to close that gap back to Dan Bailey. And I think Pickle must have had a moment somewhere as well, sliding it into the final chicane, into the bus stop. Oh, and Asbo's managed to close the gap now too. Clutch, is he going to be able to look for a move? He was having a cheeky little look up the inside there. Wasn't quite close enough to get it done. What can he do in the BRZ? Can he get past the Ferrari ahead? Closing up through the braking zone. The Ferrari twitching on the exit, doesn't lose too much time to the BRZ. Blood Diamond still unable to close the gap to these two. And is this where we're going to see Asbo go for a move? And he does have a look up the inside momentarily. Clutch covers it off. No space to get the move done. Asbo's going to have to play the patient game. Wait for another opportunity to try and get the pass done. Blood Diamond. Blood Diamond just looking like he's struggling with the conditions at the moment as he drives off track again. Is that going to give him a penalty? Hopefully not. I think he's lost enough time as it is, and fortunately it doesn't give him a penalty there. Oh, Wayne G starting to squirm in that RX vision. I think we could just see the headlights of Thomas, so maybe Thomas has started to close that gap somewhat, perhaps, and he definitely has. Has Wayne G had a moment somewhere, or has Thomas just been saving his tyres? He's been trying to keep him warm. And oh, it's Wayne G, he does! He has a moment there through the final chicane. Very slow on the exit. Is Thomas going to get a move done here? I think he might do. Takes the fastest lap there, 2:38.071, and he does get a move done. As Wayne G got an answer into the source. Still with the pressure. Almost alongside on the exit. Has to dip back in under the rear wing of the Porsche. So the fight is now on for first place. Thomas has managed to get a move done. Wenny G is now down to second. He led all the way up till the end of lap 6. And Thomas already looking like he started to create a little bit of breathing space back to the Mazda. Throwing spray into the face of Wenny G. Single wiper is going furiously on that Mazda RX Vision. Can Mawson close the gap? You can see them two fighting up ahead. Vec still not far behind as well. Still a couple of seconds back off of the Ford GT. What happened? What? I'm not sure what's happened to Wayne G's tyres. Maybe he just pushed too hard on the first few laps, and even though it looks like there's plenty of tread left, perhaps they do start feeling a little bit sketchy. Thomas looks like he stretched that gap to almost a second now. Almost managing to break the toe to the car behind. I'll check back in with these two in just a second, because Blood Diamond has managed to move up to 8th place. I think he's battling with Pickle behind, Asbo even. Oh no, he had managed to get past. What is going on there? I'm not too sure what has happened there. Oh, Mawson. I think Mawson having a bit of a moment there through on the entry to the final chicane. Not losing too much time to the car behind though. And Wayne G still struggling to get back into the slipstream of Thomas. Thomas trying to extend that gap, trying to extend his lead in the championship. Maybe he can sew it up in this round. Wayne G only 10 points behind Thomas in the standings. I'm putting in a purple first sector. Mawson in the Ford GT, still running in third place. Could find himself on the podium. I'm not sure if it would be his first podium this season. I think he has been on there once already, if memory serves me correctly. There's some fairly sizable gaps around the track at the moment, but fairly even. Everybody at the front seemingly driving fairly consistently. Dan Bailey still running in 5th place. Ice Chand unable to close that gap. He's there in 6th. Oh, has a moment there. That Lamborghini does look very twitchy in the rain. Pickle still holding on to that 7th place, and in fact in no danger of losing it at the moment. Quite a sizable gap back to 8th place Asbo. Asbo also with a nice bit of breathing space, but having a bit of a lonely end to this race in 8th place. Clutch and Blood still locked in Bow. Blood tries to have a look up the inside, does he? No, not quite. The 2 Ferraris. Will Blood have a look into the chicane? And he does pull alongside. Does he? No. Oh no, Clutch! Clutch almost losing it there through the final turn. That was on. Oh no, how, what? Why did that give him 1.5 seconds worth of penalty? That was ridiculous. He didn't gain anything there at all, and that just shows you how rubbish the penalty system in GT7 can be. So he clearly lost control of the car, somehow managed to hold it and keep going. But just to insult to injury, he has lost, well, he's going to lose a 2.5 seconds. He will lose that position to Blood Diamond. As long as Blood Diamond keeps on the road. He had a bit of a twitch there, did he? At the top of Eau Rouge. That must have been a bit of a scary moment. And we're into the 23rd minute now, so this may end up being the final lap. In fact, the top 5, top 6 may even get through to do one more. Oh, Clutch. That's a lucky Clutch. Having a very unlucky race in the rain is Clutch. But Thomas, however, played the patient game, managed to take the lead of the race at the end of lap 6, and now he's stretched that lead by a few seconds. It's got to be 2 or 3 seconds at least. And he has been rapid all season in that Porsche, absolutely dogs off the line. But once it gets up to speed, that thing is rapid, and we all know for how fast Thomas is anyway. As is Wayne G. What is Wayne G going to be able to do in the second race? I believe the forecast is dry for the second race, so better racing conditions. It's absolutely pouring down once again. But it hasn't stopped really, has it? I think we've had a couple of little lulls in the rain. But it's been pretty consistent. Yeah, Thomas can just about see Wayne G up ahead. Keeps it nice and smooth through this sector. That thing does look awesome in the dark. And this is now the final lap. Are there any battles going on track? Wayne G managed to close to Thomas once again, and he has. So he has started to catch. We'll check back in just a second, see if there's any more. I think this is it here. Well, this is it here. This is the closest battle at the moment. In fact, Thomas actually managed to stretch that gap a little bit more. He's managed to find a few temps through a few of the turns. Wayne G was looking like he may have been able to set one up. We come through the final chicane now. Oh, Wayne G tried to make something happen there. Tried to be later on the brakes. Didn't quite pay off for him. Did close the gap, but he will take second place in the end. Thomas will take the win. Wayne G second. Mawson finds himself on the podium there. Third place, Julius Mawson. Vex comes in fourth. Dan Bailey does close the gap in the end there. Fifth place for Dan Bailey. Pickle. Will he hold that sixth place? Two Eyes Chand. He's looking good for it at the moment. And yeah, Chand too far back at this stage. So Pickle comes home in sixth place. Eyes Chand. Great recovery race. Finishes in seventh. Asbo. Asbo nearly out of fuel. How's he nearly out of fuel? Asbo 8th. And Blood Diamond will finish in 9th place in the end. So Clutch has got a few more turns. You can see the grandstand now on the start finish. Final stretch. Gingerly through the final chicane. And he will take 10th place. Well, that was it, guys. That was the first race. I will see you in the second one. See you there.